of the flipper, and we're going to actually use a bevel on it, three bevels on it, and we're going to pull it back as we work on it as we go along. So the first thing you do is, of course, now is we go over to the bevel. Okay, so we're in polygon mode, and we need to go into down here. I've got that open, that's why. It's another way you can model it. So we go into bevel, we'll grab our little caddy again. I like the caddy, and you can see what's going on. If you go in, we'll zoom in on this guy and just have a look. So, alright, it's beveled it, and we probably need to maybe make the bevel a bit smaller, maybe about there, and we'll just tick that guy. And while we've got it selected, oops, we're moving back in your left view to follow the line of the flipper. So I'll pull him back to about there. Let's just have a look and see what he's looking like, because this is the direction that the flipper is going to come out. Well, he's quite thick, that's one thing. We can adjust that, and yeah, that's not too bad. So what can we do here? I might even just grab this rotation tool, and I might just rotate it around the area that the direction that I want it to go in. I don't want to twist it, but just to maybe tape it around that way. And I'm also going to go into the vertex mode and just adjust those vertices a bit. I'll leave that guy, keep my true view, and you know, I could probably go under here and just straighten them out a bit. Make it a little bit more like a box, I think. Maybe something like, oh, a rectangle. And even so, let's just check it that way. I could make it just a little bit smaller. So I'm going to grab all those verts, like so. And I'm just going to push them all in a bit to about there. And check that again. I'll probably be mucking around a bit too much, but that one there looks like it needs to be moved out there now, like that. Alright. Now, sometimes it just works beautifully first off, but sometimes you need to do a bit of adjustment. So I'm going to do that. I'm going to go back into my polygon mode. I'm going to select that bottom polygon, and I'm going to put another, I'm just going to close this, oops, that one off there. I'm going to put another bevel there, and I'm going to make this bevel a little bit shorter this time. Oh, no, I'll leave that guy. Damn, I want to keep him. I'll just make him go in there like that. Make this guy a little bit bigger. Say about there. I'll tick away on that one. Shove him over to the back way. That's better. Now you can sort of see what I'm doing here now. That bevel is probably, again, a bit too long, but that's alright, we can move things. That first one I wish I did a little bit shorter, so what I'm going to do is go into edge mode. I'm going to grab this edge, I'm going to loop it, and I'm just going to pull that back a bit on that kind of angle, just about there. Okay, that's not too bad. Kind of like having the three bevels. Now, this guy, grab the polygon, and again I'm going to bring him back just a little bit, like that. That's not too bad. So you see what's happening. We get there, and then the third one, I'll do another one, another bevel, and we will sort of place the wrong way there. We will just adjust it a little bit here. Can't go too small, and we definitely don't want it to be that long. We'll just make it shorty, maybe like that. Make this one just a little bit bigger. Whoops, something happened. Oh, we've got a freeze. Okay, so then I've got this guy, and we'll do a little bit of work on him too. We need to move him back like that. Just check him out. See if he's looking. He's not too bad. That one there might be a little bit too back. He's actually okay, I think. He's not too bad there. Okay, so we just make him just a little bit smaller. We're going to put a Turbosmooth on this, so you'll see what happens, and we can work back in the stack. So I'll show you that, but at this stage I want this guy just to be a little bit smaller there. Now I could, oh, what am I doing? I could just get the scale tool and scale it uniformly there, and just give it a bit of a smaller thing. Let's see if that's small enough. Okay, now I'm going to make him a little bit smaller, so I'll go into the polygon. I'll just grab my verts again and just grab those guys, move them in a bit like that. Really, that's kind of alright actually, I think. Yeah, that's it. So that's that fin done. So at this stage, let's put a Turbosmooth on our stack, on our modifier stack, to see what it's going to look like when it's Turbosmooth, but we will take it off later on. So look for T for Turbosmooth. You see I'm putting it in the stack, it's at the top of the stack, and you see what it's done to our geometry. It's changed it quite a lot, made it quite smooth, and you see our fin isn't too bad. It's pretty good. So what we'll do now is so I'll just switch it off for now. Up the top here, you see there's a little button for Turbosmooth. You can switch it off, and then we can come back and work in here. We could also leave it on, and then so if I go back into Edit Poly, I'll leave it on here like I did before. And if we want to, we can actually put show end results, which is this little kind of test tube looking thing here. If you click that guy, you can go back into, we actually click it when you're back, and you can go back and you can see what's happening with the Turbosmooth. So it's up to you how you want to work. At this stage, the Turbosmooth is just there to show you what's actually happening to the geometry. It smooths it all out, and you can see maybe where I could make it even a little bit better. So the next bit we're going to do is the top terser fin at the top. Okay, so what we're going to do is work on the top bit here, and we'll just do one of these for now. So we're looking here. I'm going to go into edge mode. I'm going to select that edge. Now we're in the proper left view here. So there's the left view. It wasn't actually, but it is now. And we'll do exactly what we did before. We need to make 3 different extrusions, 3 new edges. So hold down Shift, grab that edge, drag it up to around about, say there, let go, hold down Shift again, drag the other guy up to say around about, say there, Hold down shift again and do the same again at the end, like so. So we've created those new polys. So after that, we're going back into vertices mode, and you're going to do the same type of thing you did before. We're just going to grab these guys and I'm going to bring him in on the X. Obviously, I need to grab that guy and stick him into around about, say, there. This guy there. That guy's got to come back out again. Probably being a bit fussy. Move him in a bit. This one here to about there. This one about there. Again, I'm going to be a bit fussy and bring those guys there. In fact, I might just bring them back down a little bit to there. That guy's alright. This guy, like so. And that's it. We've created that little bit there. So now we're going to use the connect tool again. So we're going to go into edge mode. We're going to select ring. Oops, ringed all the way through. So we're not going to do that. Of course, I'm just going to select them by holding down Control. These guys, like so. And we're going to go to the connect tool. And in the connect tool, this time we're going to, I'll just right click that, so that's zeroed that off. We need two segments, and we need to pinch them 50. Let's see what that does. You can type in 50 and that brings them out to the edge like so, and that's exactly what I want to do. So I'll tick that away. So now we've got these edges, close to the edges there. So the idea now, of course, is that we're going to pull these ones out to get the fins right. What we need to do is have a look at what the geometry in here for a second. I'll just go back into vertex mode. Now, if we grab, let's see, we need to grab these vertices. So the two that's already there, those two, so those two, and that's a good start. Actually, these two as well, because they won't be mirrored there. So it's these two, and these two. And what we do, I'll pull them out over here, is that in my perspective view, I'll pull them out to give them a bit of shape. So I'd say that is pretty well where we want it to be. Not too thick, because it's basically a fin, and it sits there like that. The only thing is, I can see what I've done is I grabbed this guy here. So I'm going to have to align him back into shape so I don't have a seam properly. I actually accidentally did that. So what I need to do is bring this guy back to be aligned with this guy on the X. So I'm going to use the align tool, which is probably a good thing to show you. I'll just zoom in here, whoops. And I'm going to click on this vert, because that's where the X, where I want to be. And I need to, I've already been in here, of course, so I just need to tick this guy and uncheck these guys and just go OK. And that brought it back in its alignment down here. So there you go, that's when the align tool can come in a lot of handy with you. So you can see how easy it is to make a mistake. So there's the fin. Alright, we'll just have a look and see what it looks like with the Turbosmooth on. There you go. It's pretty cool. Great. So the next bit is the tail. And it's probably the hardest one of them all because we don't have a lot of reference, and you can see how far it goes out that way, but what's it look like at the top? We're not really sure, so we'll have to do some referencing. But if we go into our PDF, you'll see that the next bit I do here, I'll turn off the Turbosmooth because we're not working in Turbosmooth at the moment. The next bit is I select these 6 faces here and we'll extrude them out. So let's do that first. So we'll go into polygon mode. We'll go that guy, that guy, that guy, etc. And we'll extrude that out. Now, let's just do a little bit of checking while we're doing it, just to see. I think I'll do it that way. No, I'll go that way. Okay, so we grab our extrude this time. I'll use the caddy again, and we extrude it out. Now, I'm just looking at this extrude, and I would say that, yeah, there's a little bit of work going on with this guy. Let me just, first of all, we'll make him a bit smaller, about there, and we will leave it like that for a second. Now it looks pretty bulky at this stage, so what I'm going to do is just grab my scale tool, and I'm going to uniformly scale those polys while I've got them, just to scale them in a bit. And while I'm doing that, I'm going to push them back a little bit as well. And looking at the picture, I'm going to push them down too. Right, so looking at the shape, you know, of the back tail, if we have a look in here, where I am, just here, you can see the shape of it here. Basically, it's kind of like 2 similar kind of fins, and it's got a little bit in the middle here as well. The other thing to take in account is that looking at all the pictures here, they're quite thin. They're not real thick. They thicken and then they thicken up to about there, just like our body is, and they're sort of thin there, and here too. I mean, there's different breeds, very thin, you can see it there. So when we get to this tail, I think we need to scale this down quite a bit more than even that. So you need to adjust it to make it kind of right. So I would say, looking at that, perhaps we need to bring this guy back. Let's see, bring him back in here, like that. Again, I probably made the extrusion too big. And let's say he's going down enough. I might just push him down a bit more. So he says something maybe like that. And then I'm going to make this side, make this a little bit thinner. I'll just go into, let's see, verts. Actually, I might even, yeah, I'll go into verts. Grab those guys, and I might scale him up this way a little bit, because we want it to be pretty thin. Looking at that, that's probably about right. And I'm going to do, again, I've got that one as well, at the top. So you just have to be very careful with this sort of stuff. So what I'll do is I'll just grab that guy and I'll just push him out this time, because I am sort of organically modelling this. Might just grab this guy, bring him out there, like that. Yeah. Okay, I'll keep going with that, and then we're going to extrude him out again. So with a little bit of manipulating and changing things around, I've come to this shape, which if I put on the Turbosmooth to show you, isn't too bad. Could be a little bit thick there. And we could also do a lot of work here. Obviously, we can do that later on. But that's that bit. Okay, so we're about to put the symmetry on this guy. So we've got our edit poly, and I go to the modifier list and I put in S for symmetry, and symmetry is just there. And we put it in the right mirror. This is the tool, so I think it's the Z, and you can see that worked very fine. And it's already got world seams, and if you've done a good job and everything's lined up at the top, it should do a good job. But if not, you can play with the threshold here as well. So let's put the symmetry on it, which is kind of cool. So there he is there. And now on top of that symmetry, I'm going to put the Turbosmooth to give him the smooth. And there's the smooth, Turbosmooth on top of him. And he's actually finished, but I need to do some more on the nose, which I have already. Cool. Thank you.